Good afternoon, fastball fans, and welcome back inside the Green Valley Sports Complex, Milton Field here in Moline, Illinois, 76th Annual ISC World Tournament. On the field, the Bear Creek Express from the Chippewa on the Thames First Nation in Ontario, and they are facing off against the somewhat upstart Ohio Bombers out of Bainbridge, Ohio. They've won a couple of close ball games here to get to this big matchup on Monday afternoon against the number 4 ranked Bear Creek Express. In with the first pitch of the game, Sean Cleary out on the board for Bear Creek. Leading things off, it's Juan Bambozi. He'll be followed by Dante Biagini, Loreno Martinez, Danny Aranaz, Glenn Martin, Justin Zimmerman, Delmar Martin, Merrick Wolf, and Andrew Weaver. The batting order for the Bombers to face the Bear Creek Express today. For the Express, left to right across the outfield, Quentin Bruce is out in left field and center, Jordan Pomeroy in right field, Tyler Paulai showing his versatility out in the outfield. Around the horn, it is at third, Derek Mason. Shortstop is Nestor Nova. Second base, Brandon Horn, as this one is lifted up foul and out of play down the left side. First base, Colin Walsh. And the pitcher-catcher duo, Sean Cleary, Ryan Boland, the Team Canada duo. Blair Setford with you on the ISC network, joined by my broadcast partner and good friend, Joe Todd. Joe, on paper, this one should favor the Bear Creek Express, but this Bomber squad has quietly won a couple of tight but competitive ball games.
Yes, they have. They beat the AHI Reapers 2-0, and then in their opening game, they beat the Walcott Merchants 4-0. So they've been on the right side of the scoreboard so far. Now they're matched up against Bear Creek.
Haven't given up a run yet. That first game of theirs was the very first game of the tournament here on this diamond on Saturday afternoon. Went extra innings. Just like a lot of the games have this week. We've had a real competitive ISC World Tournament here. The number of run rule games has been a lot lower, I think, than in the recent past. Chopper, and that one is just foul. Swinging bunt.
As you talked about the opening day, in the past, the opening day has had a few blowouts. And in our opening day on Saturday, we had 2 extra inning games, and there was only one score that was kind of really outblown.
So Cleary with the look in, the step back, the rock, the lean. And Bambozi somehow managed to duck under that one. Brandon Horn almost looked like he threw the hands up there, but that's just Brandon helping him get set in his position. And upstairs, did he go around? Yes, says our third base umpire. So a strikeout for Juan Bambozi and for Sean Cleary and the Bear Creek Express getting started. Again, if you're just joining us here on the ISC network, this is the scheduled 3 p.m. Central Time starting game. Just underway at about 4:02, 4:03. We're about a minute or so into this one. Thanks for joining us, Blair Setford, Joe Todd on the ISC network. We're joined by Luciano Lafrano doing production and Spanish commentary, and his lovely wife, Katrina. Lafrano is our first base camera operator, keeping it all in the family this year. Swing and a foul out by Dante Biagini, the shortstop for this Ohio Bombers squad at the plate. Dante put in a couple of appearances, Joe, with the New York Gremlins earlier in the season, but getting an opportunity to get on the field regularly is an attractive proposition for any young ball player. And if you can do that, it's great hanging around one of the big teams, but you want to play too.
Yeah, the more times you catch the field, more times at bat, more comfortable you're going to be in the long run.
Called a strike there on Biagini.
Great to see a team from Ohio too, Blair. Don't think we've had too many teams from Ohio.
Well, it's been a couple of years. We had the Westerville Capitals that made the ISC 2 final. That's about 6-7 years ago now. And then we had the Ashland A's teams. The last couple of years, they were the Ashland Mets, the Ashland A's. They've been around this team. I don't think there's really a whole lot of connection to that Ashland squad. It's certainly a different collection of players. Cleary 1 and 2. You get a good look at Sean from Harbor, Maine, just outside of St. John's in Newfoundland and Labrador, the ace of Team Canada. And chop foul there, Sean and a couple of other guys on this Bear Creek roster will be off to the WBSC World Cup in Auckland, New Zealand at the end of November. There's a pre-tournament that John Stewart broke the news about in Palmerston North. That will be played the week before the WBSC World Cup. Canada, Japan, possibly the United States involved in that pre-tournament event. And Palmerston North, of course, where they had the U19 Worlds in late 2019, early 2020.
Real nice facility there. I saw the camera shots there.
Chopper on the infield, and coming up throwing is Nestor Nova, which, Joe, is a new name to me, but that was some pretty good defense there. He came a long way as he was well back on the infield. Kim got it, good strong arm on the run.
Yes, he charged the ball, and he couldn't sit on his hat, and he picked the ball up and actually did not plant his feet for the throw.
We will have to do some investigative journalism after the game to dig into Nestor Nova a little bit. So 2 down here. Cleary facing Loreno Martinez. And there's a strike.
I wonder how many years Sean Cleary has pitched to Ryan Boland.
Well, you can go back at
probably
least,
in the minor.
Well, you can go back to 2012 at the very least at the ISR from Cleary. They were together on Jarvis in 2012. 2014, 15. Well, 15 Ryan didn't make it, but 14 and 16 with the Toronto Gators. 17 they were apart. 18-19 with the Hallman Twins.
Certainly know each other.
Yes, that is indeed true. Lifted up in the air, out to left field, and settling under that for the out, Quentin Bruce. So 1-2-3 inning for the Ohio Bombers in the top of the first. Bear Creek Express coming to the plate. Stay with us. We're just getting underway. Blair Sedford, Joe Todd on the ISC Network.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Jonas Hodgny, one of the young Czech players that are here, Joe, and I got the opportunity to watch Jonas down at the Winter Invitational in, what was that, late January down in Fort Myers, Florida. A prospect for sure. This is going to certainly be a challenge for him, facing this Bear Creek roster that is loaded with national team talent. And this will be a good measure to see where young Hodgny fits into the game. Leading things off for the Bear Creek Express, it will be Jordan Pomeroy in center field, followed by Tyler Pauli and Colin Walsh Ryan Boland in the 4 spot. Jeff Lyons, designated player. Quentin Bruce, Derek Mason, Nestor Nova, and Brandon Horn in the 9 spot for the Bear Creek Express. Defensively for the Ohio Bombers, left to right, Delmar Martin in left field. Andrew Weaver is in center. Right field is Glenn Martin. And then around the horn, Loreno Martinez at third. Shortstop, Dante Biagini. Juan Bembozi at second base. At first, it's big, tall Justin Zimmerman, my good friend. His name is Justin, not big, tall Justin. And catching is Merrick Wolf for Hajni. So a couple of Czech players on the battery. And the Czech program, Joe, is one of those emerging programs trying to replicate what Argentina has done by investing in their program and getting young players that exposure here in North America at the ISC, hoping that's going to pay dividends for their national team.
Yes, they've done a great job over the last 5 years. Every year showing improvement. They invest in extra programs. They're willing to bring in pitchers from outside of the country about 4 or 5 years ago for clinics, stayed over, brought some kids into the United States and Canada, and it showed results at the last World Bench Championships.
Hajni took something off that pitch. Pomeroy leaned into it and fouled it off. And Joe, you talk about good young players. Jordan Pomeroy from the Newfoundland Fastball Factory, the late tournament that the Bear Creek Express won.
You are correct. He hit up a storm. Everything right at the plate. Drove it all over the field. He's a good spray hitter, great runner. Playing center field, he can track down a lot of balls.
And he's got a little pop, too. We saw him hit a bomb at the Hallman tournament in Kitchener. And a leadoff rock to Jordan Pomeroy. Probably not the start that Hajni wanted to have, and that'll bring up Tyler Pauli. Joe, playing the outfield today, naturally an infielder, and that's not always a smooth transition, but Tyler Pauli, one of the best athletes in the Team Canada pool, and I think a guy that can make that transition as asked.
Easily. Just all-around natural athlete.
Pauli would be what now, 25, 26 maybe?
3 years out of junior.
So 26?
25, 26. Must be in his 26th year, I believe.
So he's already won 2 ISC batting titles, including last year up in Eldridge in Iowa, just a little bit north of here. Swing and a miss there by Pauli, fouled off. Tyler, of course, the Canada East Player of the Year last year, and the second time he's won that award as well.
He invests a lot of time in the off season, putting in a lot of hours to perfect his game, and it's showing results.
Had the bunt on there. Tyler's dad, Jeff, in the third base coach's box. Doug Charlton over on the first base side. Joe, you might see one or both of those guys in the Legends tournament a little bit later this week, too.
Yeah. When I coached against Jeff. Jeff played for the Mitchell Mets teams.
Well hit, deep right field, way back and gone. 2-run home run, Tyler Pauli.
That ball just kept on going and going and going.
Right fielder Glenn Martin took 2 steps back and then just turned to watch it sail right on out of the yard. And just that quick, Bear Creek Express, that leadoff walk, comes around to score, Joe, as they often do. And a 2-0 lead for Bear Creek.
Just got too much of the plate. Tyler Pauli extended those arms. Good follow through. Drove it over that fence, no problem.
Colin Walsh playing first base today, and you talk about versatility, too. Colin can play corner outfield, left-handed pitcher of renown. Don't be surprised if you see him get into a game in a situation where there's a blowout. Justin Schofield, of course, the number 2 behind Sean Cleary, but Walsh can soak up some innings where necessary. This one is lifted out into short right. Second baseman is going to range out for that, and Juan Bambosi will haul that in for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring us to Ryan Boland, catcher for the Bear Creek Express, one of the captains on Team Canada, one of the most natural leaders I've ever met, Joe, on the field, intense, personified.
But really a quiet leader.
He's not a yeller or a screamer.
No.
You are absolutely right. He leads by example with the work ethic that he has, the way that he plays the game, hard-nosed.
Ryan had 2 hits in the Marcio Sausage game, 8-0 victory yesterday, 3 RBIs.
This one foul back. Ryan, of course, one of the top catchers in the game. And like shortstop, catcher is a position where you can rhyme off several guys who are, at the top of the game. Bruno Matroni from Argentina, Rafa Flores from Venezuela, Ryan with Team Canada, Nick Mullins with Team USA. There are top guys across the board.
Well, a catcher is such an important position, too, for that whole team, going right up the middle of that whole infield. Usually your catcher, your shortstop, and your center fielder are your team leaders, and Ryan is part of the program.
You just saw a couple of guys there from the Alvinston Aces as this one's lifted up out to Bambosi again. He'll settle under that one right at the edge of the grass for the second out of the inning. Alvinston just off the field, Joe, behind us. A 2-1 loss to the Midland, Michigan Explorers. Alvinston will drop into ISC 2, but they put in 2 real good, solid games here in the ISC tournament. Nearly beat. They were within an out of beating the Oma Tigre in what would have been a big upset on Saturday.
Well, the 2 additions that they picked up from the 2 pitchers from Botswana really improved their whole look and change from the qualifier that we had back in Mitchell in June. They really strengthened up that team.
Jeff Lyons to the plate, and Jeff Lyons, Joe Todd, quietly is having himself a good year here for the Bear Creek Express. You just mentioned the qualifier. You go back to the championship game, Bear Creek and the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. The Twins look like they had that one on cruise control. They run into the 7th inning with a 4-1 lead over Bear Creek. Bear Creek gets a couple of guys on. Jeff Lyons comes up with the bases loaded and drills a triple down the right field line. Scores 3 to tie. They push another one across, and all of a sudden all you got to get is 3 outs, and suddenly you're the Canada East champions.
Everybody was kind of in awe of that game, and anybody that stuck around to watch that championship game certainly watched a great one.
And let's point out that came off of, world number 1, presumed world number 1 now, Huemo Mata. I think there's some debate there. Adam Folkert, Sean Cleary, Huemo Mata, the kid from Japan, Ryo Kayama. There is a wealth of pitching talent. Andrew Kirkpatrick in that conversation. And this one is a flare down the left side off the fence. But you know, with the injuries that Adam has had, I mean, there's the guy for the last 10 years, easily the answer to that question. With the injuries that Adam's had and the time away, Mata, likely you could say, has caught up. He's the current world champion, the current Pan Am Games champion. That could all turn on its head still here this week. Upstairs from Hajni.
Jeff Lyons is a tough out at the plate. Very aggressive. Likes to swing the bat. 2-2 now at the plate.
And this one Well hit, center field, out to the fence, and making the catch is center fielder Andrew Weaver. Hauls that one in for the third out of the inning, but the Bear Creek Express jump out to a quick 2-0 lead. Tyler Pauli, big home run, scores Jordan Pomeroy. And we will go to top of the second coming up. Stay with us.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program. Whatever
That was us that you got to see in the broadcast window, the ISC Network. Blair Setford, Joe Todd, Luciano Lafrano, handling all the production, the Spanish broadcasts as well. You are a man of many talents, my friend. I don't know how you do it. Keep up. I can't even remember to turn the sound back on half the time. So 4-5-6 for the Ohio Bombers. Daniel Aranaz, Glenn Martin, and Justin Zimmerman. And up top from Cleary.
The umpires for today's game: behind the plate, Brandon Bloom from Washington. First base, David Fortin from New Zealand. Our exchange umpire. Third base is Keith Cook from Minnesota.
So you got the Midwest, the West, and down under. That's pretty good coverage. Brandon Bloom, one of the very best in the ISC umpire pool. We are blessed to have the top officials in the game here at the ISC. Brandon Bloom is very recognizable for his height, Joe, but also for the quality of his game. I've coached in and I've called numerous games with Brandon over the years, and always impresses me with his professionalism, his calm demeanor, and the fact that he gets the calls right.
Yeah, he's got great composure behind the plate and a great approach to the batters, to the pitchers.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Daniel Aranaz, the designated player. Four batter, can't catch up to that rise ball from Sean Cleary. And the thing with Sean, Joe, as we watch this replay here, you can never guess what pitch you're gonna get. He and Ryan work so well together. You rarely see Sean shake off a pitch. You're in a rise ball count, he'll throw a drop. We haven't seen the changeup yet, and he's got a devastating change. They often put it together back-to-back, too. This one fouled off to the screen by the left fielder, Glenn Martin.
Quick little tidbit about the first base umpire, David Fortin. He was actually born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Moved down underneath in his teenage years. So when he came back for Canada Cup over in Surrey, BC, and down our way, he's quite aware of the whole area.
Sean will do a lot of landscaping out there in front of the board. Not a big fan of the divots in and around the landing area. Would prefer to just have that nice and flat. I told the story on air the other day about the 2016 Canadians being played at Caribou Park out in St. John's, and Galway Construction, the sponsor for the local team, the host team, or the defending champion team, I guess they were. They literally brought in a compactor for in between innings to smooth out the landing area. Swing and a miss there. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. They open up the gate and this little mini compactor drives out onto the field, back and forth across the landing area, back and forth, just compacting it down, compacting it in. All the players are standing around just in shock and amazement at the pull to get a compactor to come out and fix up the mound. Can't hold back there.
Sometime it is who you know.
It truly is, yep. Glenn Martin down on strikes as he can't hold up, and that'll take us to Justin Zimmerman. Justin Zimmerman won the Kevin Herlihy Newcomer of the Year award all the way back in 2012, so that's 10 years ago now that he made his debut in the ISC World Tournament. Another guy that made his debut that year was Justin Schofield. So both of those guys in this game today. Schof, the number 2 pitcher behind Cleary. And you flash forward a couple of weeks, and then the Canadian Championship back in St. John's, Newfoundland again this year, and Cleary and Schofield will be on opposing forces. Schofield, the East Hants Mastodons in Nova Scotia. You get a good look at Justin.
Go see if Sean can work his way back here. 3-0 count.
Misses inside, ball 4. I don't know if anybody was sure whether that was going to be called a strike or not. Zimmerman started to walk down the first, stutter stepped like he maybe thought he was going to get called back. Boland gave a head tilt, thought maybe he was going to get the call. Sean Cleary, as always, just no emotion out there, the Iceman.
Yes.
You never know with Sean whether he's up 10, down 10.
And that's good,
not
though.
that he's ever down 10, but you would never know with Sean, because he is literally the Iceman out there. Just, you talked about the demeanor and the composure. That is Sean Cleary to a T.
He's got the poker face.
Yeah, I think the most you'll ever get out of Sean is a head tilt if he thinks he didn't get a call.
A little smile or smirk.
That one misses upstairs. He's actually got quite a dry whip off the field. He and Justin Schofield can be seen trading exchanges and barbs on Twitter from time to time. So 2-1, falling behind the batters a little bit, and that you don't often see that out of Sean. But
no, I'm kind of surprised, especially after striking out the first 2 batters.
And chases upstairs there. Justin Zimmerman not going to be happy with himself. And
no, that's Delmar Martin.
you're right. Sorry, I apologize. It is Delmar Martin. Zimmerman on first with that walk, of course.
Oh, we'll see what Sean comes back with here. after seeing that rise ball last pitch.
Chop foul. That looked like a little rise that didn't get the elevation up and out of the zone that they might have wanted. So Zimmerman on first, aboard with the walk. Delmar Martin, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And we're here in the top of the second inning. Pretty big hole out there, Joe, in right center. Swing and a miss. It is Academic. They strand the walk. Zimmerman can't advance, and Bear Creek will come to the plate home half of the second, trying to build on that 2-0 lead. Joe, do you think if we phoned in an order, we could get Big Pete's to deliver a tomahawk steak to us out here?
Well, maybe not here, but we're going to visit Ashweek in middle of September, third week in September. So I'm sure they might bring one to the park then.
Oh, boy, I could see a trip over to Big Pete's on the Friday afternoon before the tournament and then a siesta. Just like these guys. Look at this guy out here having a siesta on the edge of the tent. Wake up, man. You're missing a good ball game. Oh, just a stretch. Wow. I wish I could have life that easy, don't you? Come to the favorite ballpark. Here's a little nubber up through the box. Turn, throw, safe at first base. Going to be hard to get Quentin Bruce, who runs very well. And that little number there, a valiant effort by Juan Bambosi to try and go get that at right at second base. But Quentin Bruce, just enough wheels to beat that out. And now Derek Mason. Mason, the veteran from Vancouver, British Columbia. And Derek, if anybody is a student of the game, Joe, it's Derek Mason, who puts in, as you talked about earlier with Ryan, puts in the hours and hours with the video, with the analysis, perfected his swing, fouls this one off. He is a guy who has done everything he can do to be prepared physically, mentally for every game.
Yes, he's really worked hard, and it showed results. It's been part of that national program for 2 cycles, maybe at least 2 cycles.
Well, I think there was a cycle where he was left off, and that was a difficult situation as this gets away from the catcher, Merrick Wolf, and up to second base goes Quentin Bruce. And it really was an eye-opener for Derek that you can't take that you can't take things for granted.
Yes.
Debating whether that was a wild pitch or a pass ball. I think we went with pass ball on that one.
Something Derek will probably never forget and continue to work hard every time now to improve that. And he'll always remember that scenario, to work that much harder.
Well, I think, and we all saw those results in his game from from 2014 onwards. Always a real good hitter, but just elevated himself into that upper echelon. Had a notion there, but that is foul at the plate, I guess.
One thing I kind of get a kick out of watching Derek is that his front foot kind of pushes out all the time when he's in the batter's box. And it obviously is just a timing mechanism for him. But you'll see it there if we can get a close-up. But we'll see it now. There you go.
There it is.
Yep.
Swing and a miss there, down on strikes. Real good pitch there from Hajni. Outside corner. Mason can't catch up with that one. And down on strikes for the first out of the inning. That'll bring us to Nestor Nova. And I am curious to see if the offense equals the defense. We saw him make a good play a little bit earlier. Now we'll get a look at him at the plate. Called strike on that outside corner by Brendan Bloom. I just heard Luciano Lafrano say he's from the Dominican Republic, and skipper Paul McCart has got a bit of a pipeline to the Dominican through his friendship with Frankie Perez, who has headed up that Dominican program, the national team. And there was a swing and a miss there. So that maybe is where the Express are getting that connection.
Exactly, yes. Frankie Perez and Chico are both real good friends for a long time.
0-2 on Nova. Brandon Horn awaits on deck, and it's really almost not fair to have Brandon Horn in the 9 spot. You could put him in the 1 or 2 spot, and he would be just as comfortable and just as effective. Long look in here by Hajni. And a little change up there from Hajni. Haven't really seen that pitch too much.
No, haven't. And it's a nice pitch. You just need to make that a strike.
And a little flare on the infield. Bambosi will come over to his left and make that catch. Boy, he's been a busy guy out there. That's what, the 3rd or 4th pop-up for him? 3 pop-ups and a couple of ground balls?
3 pop-ups, and made a great play on that Quentin Bruce play, too, to start the inning.
So here's Brandon Horn. And he's going to chop this one out to left and coming across to make the catch. Delmar Martin will reel that one in. Nothing across for Bear Creek in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Through 2 complete, it is 2-0 for the Express. Stay with us. We'll head to the 3rd coming up.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
So you just had a look there at Catrona Lafrano, who is operating our action camera here this week. So when you see a ball in play and the camera is following the action, that is Catrona doing a great job. Luciano Lafrano, our good friend, we will show off the robot cam that he's got mounted on top of the first base dugout and all of the settings that it has. We'll show that off at a later date. But Luciano doing a great job. Joe, can't praise him enough for the package that he's put together on the production side here this week at the ISC World Tournament to bring you all the sights and sounds.
An amazing multitasker.
Oh, yeah, and he's doing Spanish commentary. Yeah. And he set up the second camera on the dime behind us, and he monitors that one, too. And speaking of that, if you're wanted to watch a different game, or if you're a fan of a game that's going on Diamond 7, we do have a secondary stream set up. It is on softballpremiertv.com. The Niagara Stompers and the Grand Prairie Pirates were playing at last check. Now, it's admittedly a while back. That game was 1-0 for the Grand Prairie Pirates early. We'll see if we can get a score for you on that one. But you can get all of the scores on www.iscfastpitch.com. Follow along with the live scoring team here, led by Woody Woodhouse, John Woodhouse, doing a great job. And we've got a great group of people here who are contributing to all of the live scoring and the streaming going on this week. Swing and a miss there by Merrick Wolf, the catcher for Ohio Bombers, down on strikes. And Joe, that's a couple in a row now for Sean, and you think he's dialing it in a bit?
Yes, he's found his spots now, working good with his catcher, Ryan Bolin. 5 strikeouts out of the 8 batters he's faced so far. The one blemish being a walk back to Zimmerman.
Attempted bunt there by 9-batter Andrew Weaver. So, Joe, that there has been some movement there. Grand Prairie now up 7-0 on the Niagara Stompers. That game is in the 4th. And the Nates Fisher Automotive team playing Pueblo. And right now that is 1-0 for Nates Fisher over the Pueblo Bandits. Didn't go around there. Squares again and then pulls it back. Reminds me a little bit of Andy Treist here, Joe, with the Alvinston Aces squad. Diminutive Andrew Weaver.
Very small strike zone.
And Cleary and Bolin have been going with a set of rise balls here, trying to get him to chase and pop up a bunt, but he just keeps pulling the bat back, and it's 3-1, I believe.
Good plate discipline by Weaver.
And that is ball 4. So that's about as much emotion as you will ever see from Sean Cleary. He threw the hands apart looking for a call, and a second look in at Brandon Bloom. Sean is fuming. And I'm chuckling, and again, I know Sean well. I coached Sean for 3 years, and he's probably not happy with that divot out there in the pitching mound that you can see right there in front of the plate. But again, that was as much emotion as you'll ever see out of Sean right there. So we're back to the top of the shop. Juan Bambosi showed a bunt, and they got a called strike on that inside corner. So just when we thought they were getting into a groove, we get a base on balls. That would happen the last time too.
Yeah.
2 strikeouts followed by a walk.
Sean caught the inside corner of the plate. First strike, caught the outside corner with that one. Bambosi now down 0-2 count. The only thing that might have done with that walk is maybe just burned Sean Cleary just a little bit more to be a little bit tougher.
That was just off the outside corner. I was watching where Brandon Horn was going to set up, and he's actually closer over towards second base. It's kind of the double play depth, I think you would call that, Joe, because with the lead that Weaver was taking over at first, to me that was prime for Ryan Boland to snap a throw down to first to see if they could get Horn to sneak in behind him, but he's 35 feet away from the bag right now. Chopped, and that one goes foul down the left side. So, you know, they've got a couple of small ball type players here at the bottom and the top, Weaver and Bambosi. And both of those guys have got some really good back control that you like to talk about. And if they can get the defense moving around a little bit, hey, you never know. You might put some pressure on and get a board. So there's that snap throw, and they just about got Andrew Weaver.
Real nice setup pitch there, huh, for that third strike.
You can see how close that was there at first base on the great replay. Well, Dante Biagini, the shortstop. Dante's dad, Ray Biagini, was a star, Joe, in the Legends tournament for a number of years with the Bay Area squad. On the move, never heard anything from the Bear Creek guys. The throw is high and try to get down to third as well. It's bobbled by Mason, who conveniently falls on top of Andrew Weaver, and he helps himself to 120 feet of space. Nobody said anything, and then Boland suddenly has to get the ball down. You see the scramble to third. He's in safely there. Mason is going to go over the top. A lot of action there. Andrew Weaver making things happen out there on the base paths. A little bit of havoc.
Well, great wheels, too. He turned the base. He knew exactly where the ball was and thought he had plenty of room, but that play was a lot closer than it should have been. But Weaver able to now be at third base with 2 out.
Well, and where all the problem starts is nobody told Ryan Boland that he's going.
Well, I think everybody on the bench maybe fell asleep. Usually someone on the bench is responsible for a runner.
Well, in a tight ball game, and not that this one is getting away by any stretch, it's only 2-0. But as you march on down the week and you make a key mistake like that against a Hill United or a Gremlin team, you're in trouble because somebody has got to be alert and has to have that call. Upstairs from Cleary.
Saludos a Roger Beltré. Va a ser el día sábado. Vamos a ver, todo depende de la clasificación, de cómo va, ya que Becker juega con Chief y también el equipo de GMB quieren evitar una lesión en ese si llegan a la final, viendo las situaciones, si los dos equipos no llegan a la final, lo hacemos antes.
So Andrew Weaver out at third base now. Biagini trying to bring him in. There's a called strike on the outside corner.
después del campeonato mundial, ya que para evitar lesiones, porque puede rebalar y
The defense is shaded around a bit towards left field.
se va a dar.
Paulai is well off the line in right, shaded over towards left is Pomeroy in center, and over towards the line is Quentin Bruce. And this line shot right at Brandon Horn. Tough break there for the Ohio Bombers. Hit the ball hard, but right at the infielder Brandon Horn. Bear Creek dodge a bullet. Still 2-0. We'll head to the home half of the third. The Express coming to the plate.
Coolbet. Comfortably thrilling.
Cowboy here indeed in the Quad Cities. I've seen a few cowboy hats floating around here, Joe.
Del softball del ISC 2022. Gracias a todos por conectarse con nosotros por Softball Premier TV y también por ISC Fastball.
So Joe threw 2.5.
No hay manera.
I think this Ohio Bombers team, there's certainly no fluke being in this game here. They're pretty scrappy. They've got a decent young pitcher out there. We'll see how he handles getting into the second time around now. You got to make an adjustment and not just do the same thing over and over again. But full value so far.
Yes. The only thing I've noticed a few times, probably 5 or 6 times now since the tournament started, that pitchers just come off with a weak start in the first inning and get in a hole. He walked the first batter and then faced Paulay, who drilled that shot. But without that walk, maybe if he struck that first guy out, it's a whole different game. Gains a little bit of confidence, gives Paulay a different pitch. So it's just that start at the beginning of a game. Pitchers and catchers both have to be on that same page, work together.
You see here as Pomeroy gets that one in the hip. Maybe just over the belt, but aboard with the hit by pitch, and Paulai again at the plate with a runner aboard. Now, this is nearly as egregious as some of the other instances we've seen where there were 3 hit batters and 2 walks, and it was 5-0 before anybody could blink an eye in the game the other day. That was yesterday with Universidad Nacional, as they really ran into difficulty.
Estamos contentos de que estén con nosotros. Después tenemos otros juegos. Son 4 juegos transmitidos el día de hoy. A esta hora,
Ohio Bombers look like they have someone warming up down in the bullpen.
They do indeed, and I'm blocked out about 4 separate pieces of fence, some scaffolding, and a roof. Chopper through the infield. That gets past everybody, and wow, Pomeroy goes coast to coast, slides into third in a cloud of dust, but he could have walked in with the ground that he had made up right off the hop. You see Paulai here take that pitch the opposite way, past the diving shortstop, and Pomeroy's already at second base before the balls got out of the infield.
Well, base running skills are so important to touch that inside corner of the bag. Don't waste your time touching the outside. Touch that inside, you save yourself 2 steps.
So Joe warming up, I'm fairly certain that is Mariano Pellete, who was just a recent addition for the Ohio Bombers. But runners now on the corners, and 3, 4, 5 to contend with here. Colin Walsh. Colin is another guy, Joe, who's put in the work, put in the time, and has improved his game immensely on the Canadian team roster in 2017 up in Whitehorse. Pauli on the move, good strong throw. And nobody told him to get down at second base, and the throw was not that far offline. It was just on the shortstop side. You're going to see it. Here's the throw.
He's giving his dad.
Yeah, just in front of the
Help
bag
me.
a bit, too. He's like, somebody help me there. But Pomeroy, I wonder if he was actually looking at Pomeroy, and maybe that was supposed to be the double steal. But nonetheless, now they've got 2 runners in scoring position for Colin Walsh. And this one downstairs. But just to pick up the story on Walsh, made the team in 2017 to go up to Whitehorse, started the first game, and maybe that was a mistake because played into his nerves a little bit. But then not on the team to go to Prague. And then after dominating the St. John's League the last couple of seasons, Colin Walsh here working a walk. Dominating the St. John's League, the playoff MVP, a couple of years in a row. He is back on Team Canada, named to the core, actually, of Team Canada, so he will be going to New Zealand in November, December. And I think he is going to be a key component for the Canadian team down there.
Well, another person then that we talked about, Derek Mason missing that one turn on his cycle, and Colin Walsh did the same thing. Come back, said, I missed the cut. I'll be better and more prepared the next time. And he did that work in the off season and was prepared, and those results are showing.
Boland, hard hit, right back. Oh, I was about to say up the middle. What a great throw. Oh, boy. Pauli got caught around in the corner. I think the same thing that we thought, that ball was going to get through. But just an outstanding diving play to keep that ball on the infield. You'll see it right here. Whoa, the shortstop, Biagini. And then to come to the plate with the throw, the presence of mind, as Pauli had come around the corner, like we all thought that ball was going to get through. He gets caught in the rundown. But some good base running by Walsh and Boland as they pick up the extra space. So they're now both in scoring position, and Jeff Lyons will come to the plate. Joe, you can't even really call that a base running mistake. You just got beat by the defense there.
Exactly. I'm giving Ryan Boland a good clean single on that base hit, too.
Oh, without a doubt.
An RBI driving in Jordan Pomeroy, but a fantastic play by Biagini, Dante Biagini. Fantastic. Great range. Had to go 10, 12 feet to his one side. And the presence of mind to come to the plate.
So 3-0 now for the Express. Boland out at second, Walsh at third. And Jeff Lyons look to add to this lead downstairs from Hajni. Want to give a shout out to our good friend Jakub Kopriva over in the Czech Republic. I'm sure watching along with one of his proteges, Hajni and Wolf, in the lineup here for Ohio Bombers. Jakub, I will get you that guide. I will see if I can get it to one of the guys in the next couple of days.
I believe there's 3 to 4 pitchers, though, from the Czech Republic over
that
here.
are here? Yeah, there's Hajni. There is Hala Braddock.
The two youngsters that we seen yesterday.
Yeah.
So I believe, there's got to be 4 to 5 pitchers, maybe even. Great to see the exposure, though.
Oh, and that one gets through Biagini, so as good as a play as he just made. That one, he looked skyward after that one got through the wickets. Jeff Lyons brings him another run. We're going with hit or error on that one, fellas. We're going with error on that one? Yeah, I think you have to, right through the wickets. Biagini looking skyward. 4-0 now for the Express. Now, Hajni has got to get settled and get back on the board and know that his defense there is going to help him out. He does have some work going on in the bullpen. They look like they're finished and ready, but he still has to contend with Quentin Bruce right here, right now, and make a good pitch. He does. He gets Bruce short left field, no opportunity to tag here, not even leaving the base is Ryan Boland, who runs well for a catcher.
Yes. Fairly shallow, though.
Yeah, well, Ryan hates when I say that he runs well for a catcher.
Delmar Martin set himself up in perfect position to make a throw if necessary.
Yeah, you just saw that there on the replay, indeed, ready to go. Quentin Bruce with the fly out. Derek Mason to the plate. Runners on the corners still for the Bear Creek Express. 2 down now. Inside to Mason. Joe, I think you and I were doing the game back in 2019. Fargo Eagle Black Knights and Hill United Chiefs. And Mason hit a ball back up the middle off of Adam Folkert, and it hit him on the bicep of his pitching arm. I don't know that I've ever seen a ball hit that hard. Like, it was just bang, bang. And
But didn't it reflect over the shortstop's
well, I'm
arm
not
or
sure.
something?
Yeah, it went
Like,
to
it
the
went a
outfield.
long way.
Yeah, it went off Adam out to the outfield. And I'll be honest, like, Adam came out of the game as as anybody likely would have, but the fact that he was out on the board a night later, he had a big tensor band on his arm, but the physical prowess of Adam Folkert on that given night just astounded me. But I tell the story because of how hard Derek Mason can hit a ball.
Yes. A lot of power.
Looks at a called strike there from Jonas Hajni. And that misses downstairs from Hajni. 3-2 the count.
Now, you don't want to get into this position, the 3-2 count. You know you have to go at Derek Mason.
Yeah, and Ryan Boland pointing over at Jeff Lyons, just reminding him, as I'm sure Doug Charlton has already done, that he's going to be on the move. Mason lifts this one out to short center. Long run for everybody. Diving. Can't make the catches to center fielder. Throw comes into the plate. 1 run is in. Boy, that was a real valiant effort out there by Weaver. He had a long way to go. That was just in the Bermuda Triangle there. Mason fights off that high pitch, and you see Weaver dive for it, but just out of reach. And the breaks all going the way of the Bear Creek Express right now too, Joe.
Yes, exactly. But that ball, I don't think Delmar Martin, the left fielder, would have had any chance on it. It just was kind of in exactly where you called it, the Bermuda Triangle. The perfect spot, perfect location. Hit it where they're not.
Yeah, Wee Willie Keeler. Hit them where they ain't.
Yep.
So Nestor Nova will get another opportunity here against Hajni. And 5-0 now, the lead for the Bear Creek Express. Joe, just looking at those other diamonds, Grand Prairie up 8-2 now on the Niagara Stompers, and Nate's Fisher 2-0 lead on the Pueblo Bandits. And swing and a miss there. Chopper on the infield. They're going to have to go hard to go get him, and they're calling interference on Derek Mason as he clipped the second baseman, or brushed him at least, on the way by. So third out of the inning on runner interference. 3 runs across for the Bear Creek Express. They now take a 5-0 lead. We'll go to the top of the 4th coming up on the ISC Network.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making a suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Buckle up your seatbelts, Joe, as we go for a drone ride over the Green Valley Sports Complex. That's Milthand Field that we are about to hover over. That's where we are playing today. You see the stadium seating there in the main diamond here at the Green Valley Sports Complex. We are in that central building up on the 2nd floor. This aerial footage brought to you by Luciano Lafrano, and had the drone up the other day. Got some great coverage. We'll show you some other shots of downtown Moline, and especially the nighttime shot of the bridge over the Mississippi. We got to get the name of that bridge. There is a name for it, and I don't have it offhand, but we'll get it for you, as they've got a beautiful arch bridge going over the Mississippi River to Iowa.
Not the one down by the baseball diamond then?
Oh, yeah, they've got a couple of different names for them, and
No, but
we'll have to do some local geography
there
for
was
us
a
here.
single A baseball diamond down there.
Yes, you are correct. Justin Schofield up throwing in the right field bullpen for the Bear Creek Express, but here Sean Cleary contending with, I believe that is Loreno Martinez.
That's correct.
It is?
Yep.
Yeah. Joe, coming up on the ISC Network at 6 Central Time. It'll be the New York Gremlins and the Oswegan Redmen. This will be the Gremlins' first game of the tournament. They were supposed to play Saturday against the Gallup Indians squad that won the Pueblo qualifier earlier this year. Gallup in a tournament last weekend or 2 weekends ago in Mexico, and got impacted by a COVID outbreak on a bunch of their players. Some of the players live in Mexico, got COVID, couldn't get into the U.S., and some of the American players picked up COVID while they were at the tournament, and an outbreak prevented them from getting here. Swing and a miss. Down goes Loreno Martinez. So with the Gallup team unable to attend, the Gremlins, and we only found this out on Thursday.
Yes.
So you can't redraw the schedule on Thursday of a major tournament. Gallup forfeit against the Gremlins, and that cascades a little bit through the bracket, and we'll pick that thread up in a moment. There's the changeup from Sean Cleary. Took something off that one and in for a strike. But the net result for the Gremlins, at least, is that their Saturday opponent was not here. They got a forfeit win. Sunday off, and get to finally make their World Tournament debut on Monday.
Yes, I'm sure they had a few practices. and had some batting practice and some infield practice.
Some stakes.
Yes.
And down on strike, so Cleary winding it back up again as he gets Daniel Aronaz on strikes as well.
8 strikeout for Cleary.
So, Joe, I just heard from Jakob Kopriva, and he says it's Heine, not Hajni. So the AJ is a different sound in the Czech dialect. So thank you, Jakob, for that. Fouled off at the plate by Glenn Martin. I suspect if he was a Czech player in the NHL, we'd all be calling him Hajni, as that would be the adopted pronunciation coming over from the Czech Republic by the hockey announcers. But we'll try and be as phonetically correct as we can. And if we are missing on anything, please do let us know.
Yes. So
Change up again.
yes.
So take until the
Fourth
fourth
inning.
inning where they pulled that one out of their pocket. And I talked about they do like to double it up from time to time, but 2 out of 3 pitches here. And Glenn Martin probably wishing they'd just left it alone. Called strike 3 outside corner. Cleary, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Sets down Glenn Martin. And Sean, before he leaves the area, is going to do a little bit more landscaping. Hand the ball off to the Bombers skipper. Bear Creek out in front, 5-0 coming to the plate, bottom of the 4th.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner, offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Couple of great plays there by Dante Biagini. And this one fouled off at the plate. A little bit of business that we had to take care of there. Apologies for the silence. The bridge that you saw earlier, the Master Sergeant Stanley W. Talbot Memorial Bridge. Thanks to Big Sexy Kevin Kamuller for looking that one up for us. Dante Biagini putting on a defensive clinic here, Joe. The dive and then ranging out onto the grass. Some fantastic stuff there from young Biagini.
Real good ball player. Just love his attitude. Always wants to go for the ball no matter where it is. Loves that shortstop's position. And he's got a dirty uniform.
And you know, it's funny. I was literally just about to say something about that, too. You know he's in the game, got a real dirty uniform going on. Paulite does a good job 9-ironing this one out down the left side, but that's going to go foul. I don't know how he dug that one out of the dirt.
And to get that far out.
Kevin Kamuller says he's no longer Big Sexy, just a fat old man. Well, Kevin, I think you're selling yourself a little short.
Yeah.
You're a big, fat, sexy old man. There.
Got your Mark Wolf going out to talk to Heaney. They kind of just gain some composure. Remember who you're facing there. Tyler Paulai hit him deep with that 2-run home run back in the first inning and had a nice clean single back in the third. So already making notes mentally. Good catcher there.
This one is lifted up to center. Weaver will range across a couple 3 steps to his right, make the catch. Nothing across for Bear Creek in the bottom of the 4th. We'll make the slide to 5 on behalf of our colleague Lance Wynn. Bear Creek out in front. There it is again, the Master Sergeant Stanley W. Talbot Memorial Bridge. Just some wonderful drone coverage from Luciano Lafrano. Wait till you see that shot at night. And Joe, I don't know who's playing guitar in that new Peligro sports commercial that Luciano has put together. If he went and got Slash to do the solo, maybe Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. I'm not sure, but it is a smoking guitar solo. Holy
Great
cow.
job. Great job, whoever pulled that commercial together. And don't forget to visit Peligro Sports when you're in the neighborhood.
Up in northern Manhattan. Of course, the hosts for that Peligro Cup tournament, too. The first weekend in July, well, last weekend in June, first weekend of July, kind of in and around the Canada Day, US Day holiday. Justin Zimmerman at the plate. And hot shot right into the glove of Sean Cleary, who fields his position very well. That's not a fluke, guys. That is just a good play by one of the top fielding pitchers in the game. Bang. And again, no emotion from Sean. Just turn casual flip on the Tuesday night league game.
Yeah, I do it every Sunday.
Yeah. Delmar Martin at the plate now for the Ohio Bombers. And yes, he did go around, brought the bat through the zone as he kind of flinched through it. First base umpire Dave Fortin says
That's right.
that he went. And chop foul. So, Joe, make the final 10-2 for the Grand Prairie Pirates over the Niagara Stompers. Nate's Otto Fisher still up 2-0 on Pueblo Bandits. That one now into the fifth as we are here on our game. Chopper on the infield, picked up by Nova. Wow, did he go? I'm still marveling at how far he went into the hole to even get that. I can't believe it didn't get by him. And they just don't get Delmar Martin at first. But that was ridiculously closer than it had any right to be. Wow.
Well, not only the fact that he picked the ball up, but it was a fairly accurate throw. Colin Walsh
Look how
over
far
first
in
base.
the hole he is there. He's
Yes.
almost on the chalk line on the far side. That's crazy. So that's the first base runner for Ohio in a couple of innings, is it not?
You're correct, other than walks. That walks. First hit of the game.
First hit of the game for Ohio. First base runner in a couple of innings. This one inside to Merrick Wolf, the catcher. The knees there on Merrick Wolf. You can't pull the trigger on that pitch. You never see it coming.
Hope that he doesn't give it to you again.
Don't be surprised. Well, drop ball fouled off into the screen. So the Gremlins and the Oswegan Redmen coming up. We should have lineups coming in for that one soon. Can't believe it'll be anybody other than Andrew Kirkpatrick and Caleb Keeshig. Called strike three. Down goes Merrick Wolf. Can't pull the trigger, can't pull the pin. Get the bat going.
Just quietly. Sean Cleary with 10 strikeouts now. 2 walks, 1 hit.
Andrew Weaver. I'm sure Bear Creek would like to keep him off the base pass considering the havoc that he wreaked the last time around. Want to say hello to Janet Boland back in St. John's, Newfoundland. Glad you're with us, Janet. There's a called strike on the outside corner. And Joe, when we were in Simcoe, after you had left for the evening games, Chris Abbott and I got to have the debate, and Bear Creek was playing Hill United, I think it was, who Janet cheers for when Shane and Ryan are on the field at the same time.
She probably has 2 hats at home.
Swing and a miss there. Weaver chases the rise ball up and out of the zone. They strand the base runner at first. the Bombers get their first hit, but can't get them past first base. Bear Creek will come to the plate. They'll be looking to score 2 and put an early end to this one.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye. For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Just in case you wanted to know about the best beer tent banter, it is the Dust Up podcast. We like that so much we ran that twice for you. You just missed a base hit by Colin Walsh. It was Walsh, right?
Yes.
Make sure he wasn't a pinch hitter. No. Ryan Boland back up. Heine misses off the outside corner. Boland drives this one out to left, but that is not deep enough, as tracking that one down is the left fielder Delmar Martin, and then makes a good throw into second base to keep Colin Walsh glued to that bag at first.
Fundamentally, defensively, this Ohio Bombers team has a lot of potential. They're solid everywhere. Just got to get some experience with those bats.
Well, you know, you're facing one of the top 3 guys in the world. There is no shame in where they're at right now. Sean Cleary has done this to a lot of teams, up to and including the New York Gremlins. Threw a one-hitter at the Gremlins a couple of years ago, but gave up a home run to Benny Anoka. That was the only hit that they gave up. They lost 1-0 to the Gremlins back in 2019. So, you know, this Bombers squad, there's no. This is a learning experience. We talked about the learning experience the last game for Reese Yancey from the Waterdown Hammer. This is a learning experience, getting to face Sean Cleary in an ISC World Tournament game, and you have to learn how to make the adjustments to hit guys like this, to get that experience.
Yes.
And they haven't beat themselves defensively.
No.
They had the one miscue there, but Biagini's more than made up for that.
Yeah. Second baseman Juan Barboza has made some great plays too. Good arms in the outfield. The catcher has a bullet arm.
Lyons thought he had worked the walk there and was just about ready to chuck the bat back towards the bench, but had to pull the chute on that. And fouls this one off to stay alive at the plate. We had an hour buffer built into the schedule between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. We've used up 32 minutes of that, 33 minutes of that right now. Called strike 3. Lions can't get the bat off the shoulder and will head back to the bench. Good pitch there. Good sequence by Heine. Bruce now to the plate.
Quentin Bruce had 2 hits in that game yesterday against Marcio Sausage and 3 RBI, so he has a lot of offense.
And today, what's he done today?
1 for 2, single back in the second inning. Stranded at second base.
Bruce only a couple of years removed from junior. I can remember giving an award to him at our Canada East U23 event a couple of years back. So another good young ball player from Ontario, and somebody that I know was on the screens of the radar screens of the national team coaches.
Coming out of that good junior program up in Owen Sound.
The chopper on the infield, got to come get it, turn, throw, and that is a safe there. Quentin Bruce shows you that he's got some wheels in that big frame. I thought that they had done enough to get him there. Bambosi came to get that ball. He had to come a long way in to go get it, but he just kind of pushed. Here you see it here. He just pushes the throw, and definitely safe there. Quentin Bruce beating out the ball.
Yeah, I wonder if Justin Zimmerman would have a little bit better stretch there. Might have caught the out.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, you saw a couple of replays at it there, and I thought he made it there by the end. And to your point, Joe, I think Zimmerman does stretch out, and he's big enough to do that too. If he does stretch out that extra 1.5 feet, maybe they get him. Mason takes a called strike. And a called strike again. So Mason down in the hole, 0-2, and a couple of good pitches there from Jonas Heine on the corner.
Well, good pitch location. Keeping it down low, right around the knees of Mason. Not going to hurt you down there.
That pitch well up and out of the strike zone. You just saw in that close-up how fluid Derek Mason is in the box. He's got something in motion, but these are all timing triggers for Derek to help him get his swing on track each pitch. This one downstairs. So from 0-2 to 2-2. And here's a little flare out to left. Long run, diving, making the catch is the left fielder, Delmar Martin, who probably went 25, 30 feet into the gap and makes a sliding catch to end the inning. You're going to see it here coming across and making that sliding catch. Great job out there. And Joe, you talked about the defense that this Bombers team has put on display here this afternoon. Doing a fine job flashing the leather.
2 Hall of Fame players. 1, a 3-time All-World player and twice the leading hitter at the ISC World Tournament. The other, a 5-time All-World player who led the World Tournament in RBIs in 2008. Reese Casely and Travis Wilson, our teammates, our friends, our family. Congratulations, Reese and Travis, from all of us on the New York Gremlins on your induction into the ISC Hall of Fame.
You'll see the New York Gremlins coming up on our next broadcast, probably about, Joe, at least half an hour from now, given we got at least one more inning, full inning to play here. The Gremlins in their whites. They're down the left field line, so it looks to me like they're going to be the home team. And this one goes off the helmet as leaning in like he was going to bunt, and Cleary came up and in with the pitch and comes in, gets a handshake from Colin Walsh. That's a scary sight. You're going to see him lean in for the bunt here, and Cleary comes up and in and bang right in the helmet. And the concern on and everybody's face, but it hit him. I mean, if you're going to get hit in the head, you're going to get hit on the helmet. And, well, it's a scary sight, but appears to be none the worse for wear.
You know, home place umpire Brandon Bloom just making sure he's okay.
So Juan Bambosi, second baseman, who has seen a lot of action today, but that's not the kind that you want to see. A Sean Cleary rise ball headed for your bean. Called a strike on the outside corner, Dante Biagini, who has also seen plenty of action here this afternoon.
Biagini's gone down twice, but 2 great plays. Once a line drive to Brandon Horn, and then a great play by the shortstop Nestor Nova back in the first inning.
Dos bases por bola, un hit permitido solamente. Haciendo una chamba increíble. Tiene 2 strikes. Sigue batallando el turno. Biagini de California.
Just seeing a couple notes about the volume, and let us know when there's some small adjustments here that we can make are helping at all with the volume.
Lanzamiento bola. Los malas un strike. Just cleaning está ahí. Biagini, punto y 2 strikes, una mala. Bambosi en la primera.
This one is lifted up into right in the gap, but coming across, Tyler Paulai makes the grab. And Joe, we talked about making that adjustment. That's the first opportunity for Tyler Paulai out there. And that was a nice defensive play.
Made a great play. Good range there by Pauli to go probably 15, 20 feet to his right, pick that ball up and tracked it. Ball did not leave his eyes.
Snap throw again by Boland, and actually a good pickup there by Colin Walsh to keep that from sailing out to right field.
Laureano Martinez went left field back in the first inning, struck out swinging back in the fourth, so love to get a good crack at Cleary here.
Called strike, and Joe for the Gremlins Redmond game. It is indeed Caleb Kishi and Andrew Kirkpatrick.
Aquí estamos, señores. Voy a meter Laureano. Laureano Martinez.
Laureano Martinez swings and misses there, and down on strikes.
Number 12 for Cleary in the K-book.
And Daniel Aronaz will step in, cleanup hitter. Daniel's not had a lot of luck against Sean today.
No, he doesn't want to face Sean, I don't think.
Cleary bends in the changeup for strike, probably the last thing Aaron Oz wanted to see. I haven't been able to hit anything else, and then you give me that to start. Thanks.
But good pitch location, kept it right inside, right on the edge of the plate.
This one just stabbed foul down the right side. Actually made good contact with it, just couldn't get it between the lines.
Hay dos outs. Josh Cleaning haciendo una tremenda chamba. El equipo también de Big Creek tiene 21 apariciones al bate. Tiene 7 hits, 5 carreras impulsadas. 2 bases por bola. Sunrise ball.
Had a notion. No, says Dave Fortin on the check swing. Joe, when you and I got out here at the ballpark just after noon, the sun was pretty hot and it was sticky out there. Down on strikes goes Martinez. We'll pick up the weather story on the other side. We're going to go to home half of the 6th inning. Bear Creek still out in front, 5-0. The Talbot Memorial Bridge in Moline. And you see the discontinued bridge there. There used to be, Joe, on the Iowa side, there was that all-night diner that we spent a couple of nights at 3 in the morning.
Trying to find a meal?
You weren't getting a tomahawk steak like that at the
No.
all-night diner.
I think that was craft dinner that night.
Pinch hitter for the Bear Creek Express, Dallas Cornelius, will step in, get a plate appearance here. Jonas Heine continuing to throw for the Bombers, fouled off by Cornelius. I would imagine Joe Hilstein defensively for the Express, maybe for the last couple of innings. Dallas plays shortstop too.
Yep.
There are the two Botswana players, Joe, for the Alvinston Aces. And they came over late June and played for the Alvinston squad. And boy, that Alvinston team just came so close to upsetting the Omo Tigre on Saturday. We're within an out of a 2-1 upset. Wild pitch brought in the tying run in the 7th, and then that game got away from the Aces in the 10th inning. But boy, they certainly gave the Tigre a scare.
Yes, they did, Blair. They put on a great show.
Line shot to Juan Bambosi. Yes, the middle infield for the Bombers has been very busy here this afternoon. Right there, Bambosi. Right guy, right place, right time.
Just great defense today.
Downstairs to Brandon Horn. Joe, I think we're going to give you a game off for the next one. Travis Wilson, the new ISC Hall of Famer, Travis Wilson, going to come in and give some analysis on the New York Gremlins and let the guys know where they can improve.
Yes, that'll be good to have a different voice on the microphone, and good for me to have a break.
Well, you've been working hard here on the broadcast. You carried us through yesterday afternoon and in the evening. You've done 2 straight, so we'll let you escape for a little bit. We're looking forward to hear Travis Wilson and talk about his experiences in softball and in baseball, and now in the NCAA. I think there's a great perspective there that we can learn from in the men's fast pitch side. And you look at where maybe the women's game was 20, 25 years ago compared to where it is today, where the Women's College World Series outdraws baseball on ESPN. How can we take advantage of some of that and get some spillover from that? So Horn aboard, and back to the top of the shop. Jordan Pomeroy.
One of these years I'll make it down to Oklahoma. Certainly on my bucket list.
Pomeroy fouls this one off. Yeah, stay tuned for the Gremlins Redmen, for those asking in the chat whether that one's going to be streamed. Indeed it is. We'll remind you about the secondary diamond streaming too on www.softballpremiertv.com. Secondary channel coverage there. Look and see what that next game is. But this one is lifted up to left, and Martin makes the grab. Had a notion there. Brandon Horn got about a third of the way to second base, but thought better of it, retreats back. I want to say it's the Hill United Wander Springs game that is coming up on that channel.
Yes.
That's correct?
On ours? At 8? That's the 8 o'clock game.
That's the 8 o'clock game on D7.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, the 6 o'clock is Toronto Batman and AWP Lumberjacks. So that will be on softballpremiertv.com, the Batman and the Lumberjacks. You can tune into that game, video only, but you pair it with the Game Changer coverage. You can follow right along. At 8 o'clock here, our game is JB and the Kegel Black Knights. And the Wander Springs Hill United Chiefs game is on D7, and that will also be on softballpremiertv.com. Just misses inside there, the duck out of the way of that one. Pauli's fourth plate appearance of the night. Had that big home run back in the first inning, 2 runs, and the fly out, Joe, and the single. So 2 for 3. Just another day at the office for Tyler Pauli.
Great play by the shortstop. Yeah, Tyler got called out on that great play by the shortstop.
That's right.
Dante Biagini.
Red card, let me know how that is working for you on volume. Continue just to tweak this a little bit.
New York Gremlins contra el equipo de Red Men of Walking. Ahora que trae 2-2.
This one's going to be back out of play. Somebody's got to play on it. Oh, jeez, they dropped it.
Oh.
Do not give that fan a contract.
Really?
You can look here at Brandon Horn out at first base still. Pace has slowed to mildly glacial here, I've noticed, Joe.
Yes.
Pauli fouls this one off again down the left side.
Well, Tyler doing a good job just protecting the plate there.
Up the middle, good strong throw over to second base as Ben Bosey continues to impress. Bear Creek can't push anything across in the bottom of the 6th. We'll go to the top of the 7th. The Express will look to close this one out. Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mentalhealthamerica.net to find a branch in your community.
And remember,
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
And we're back to the ISC World Tournament. Sean Cleary looking to close things off here in the top of the 7th inning.
Aquí regresamos al Parque de Pelota. Bienvenidos. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Called a strike.
Ahí está. Bueno, señores, estamos en el 7º episodio. Bien bonita fue la repetición.
So pinch hitter here, this is Bill Birkenpaw, the veteran from the Michigan area, but helping out here in Ohio. You'll see Bill a little later in the week in the Legends games. But put the old guy in and see if he can get a hit. Don't be surprised if he does, too. Bill's still pretty good stick. Well, outmatched there by Sean Cleary and Bill. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night on that one.
14 strikeout for Sean Cleary this afternoon. Averaging out to about 2 per inning so far. Maybe a little higher than that potentially. Justin Zimmerman now at the plate. Justin got on by way of a walk back in the 2nd inning. Line drive back to Sean back in the 5th inning.
Well, there was the changeup again, and they've used that exclusively here in the later innings. Pulled that out in what was it, the 4th? I think.
4th. Was the first time we saw it.
Yeah. Joe, just wrapping up some of the scores. Nate's Automotive 7-0 winners over Pueblo. The Toronto Batman AWP Lumberjacks game just getting underway on Diamond 7. And again, a reminder, if you're a Toronto Batman or an AWP Lumberjack fan, you can watch that on softballpremiertv.com. That's our secondary Diamond coverage. And give that one a look once this one ends, and then come back for the New York Gremlins, Oswegan, Redmond. Called striking that outside corner. Boy, that outside corner we saw Huemo Mata and Martin Gonzalez pick that plate apart in the last game, and Cleary going out there now too. Sean thought he had the strikeout and was going to take his customary walk around the circle and literally stopped mid-stride. A few more people come in and finding their seats, Joe, as we get into the evening hours. The Gremlins, the Redmen coming up. We're just past 6 o'clock now, Central Time. We've got about 6:02, Mickey says.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes here, Justin Zimmerman. And swinging a miss, chases up and out of the zone. Down goes Justin Zimmerman. And that will bring up Delmar Martin. Last call here for the Ohio Bombers as they just have struggled all afternoon here, Joe, against Sean Cleary. How many Ks now?
15.
15.
Delmar Martin did break up the no-hitter back in the 5th inning. Only guy to reach base cleanly in this game. Other first base patrons were by way of a walk and a hit batsman.
Swing and a miss there by Delmar Martin. And the change. Boy, just pulled the string there. Sean Cleary with that world-class changeup. Nothing.
I think he could have swung 3 times.
Yes, that's the old Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Oh, can I have one more swing?
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one. Boy, that's a backbreaker. And swing and a miss, that's the ball game. Bears Creek Express, 5-0 winners over Ohio Bombers. A scrappy Ohio Bombers team put on a show defensively, but just can't compete with Sean Cleary here on this afternoon. Joe Todd, your final thought?
I'm very impressed with this Ohio Bombers team. Yes, they lack the experience behind the bats, but I hope this team stays together and we can see a good future coming if they add a couple more pieces.
Yeah, I really liked the way they played defense, and Heine's got lots of potential to come. Bear Creek Express, they've got their sights set on bigger and better things. The Bombers will drop in the losers bracket, but I don't think that's the last we're going to hear from them either. So stay with us. Coming up in about 15-20 minutes time, I'm going to say about 6:20, 6:25 Central Time, be the New York Gremlins and the Oswegan Redmen. We're going to sign off. Blair Setford, Joe Todd. Stick around. We've got Travis Wilson waiting in the wings to talk about going into the ISC Hall of Fame, the New York Gremlins, and much, much more. Thanks for being with us. Do come back.